Hello and welcome to Table for Five with No Reservations. Take a seat at the table for a fresh, sweet, salty, tart, and pleasantly bitter conversation.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Happy Monday.
Monday.
Oh, I'm echoing somewhere.
It was me.
Happy Monday twice.
It was me. I said it at the same time as you.
Oh, got it. We're echoing.
We're doing it together.
That's how good
Because
we
we're
are.
going to be together in how many days, Rachel?
You guys, it's 3 days. It's practically
Yay.
nothing. Oh. Before we went live, I explained to Laurie that I was going to hug her for an inappropriate length of time because I feel like I know her already.
And she will.
And I
Just
will.
be ready. Yeah. She will. Yeah. But they're great. They're great hugs. Yeah.
It's a good thing I'm now comfortable with hugs. It's taken me a long time and a lot of therapy. So you
I'm
hug
not
away.
a hugger, and she just says, well, you just need to prepare yourself because I'm coming in. And that's where it begins right there.
It's good to know in advance.
Yeah.
I can do a high five, but, not natural.
Not natural. No.
I'm a hugger.
So we are live today. The next time we're going to be live is together. I can hardly wait. We're doing a game night with the people, and we get to be like an active in the same time zone group.
Yeah.
Hey, Nikki.
Did we just lose Rach?
Oh, we lost Rachel.
Oh,
Hey.
hi, Rachel.
As I was literally just going to say, don't expect a polished game because this always happens, whether we're ready or not. Things just happen at the table.
Yeah.
Just click Rachel out of here. I don't.
Hello, Angie.
Laurie, have you been to Minnesota before?
I have never been to Minnesota before, but that might be on the place to. I say we're moving to Colorado, but that might be on the place too because after my podcast with Gina, I'm like, I think I have to check some things out there.
Yeah,
she all knowing.
She is definitely a great resource. Yeah, she's great. There's a lot in Minnesota, but Colorado is like nowhere else, really.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
For services?
I'm here. For adult services.
For adult services.
Finding that. Yeah.
That's good because I don't know anything about adult services.
I'll pave the way for you, Jamie.
When you move there, Laurie, if you just let her know.
Yep.
You could move here and figure that out for me. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone.
Three sleeps.
So if anyone doesn't know, we are all going to be at the Care for the Caregiver retreat that is run by the More Than Foundation and Finding Cooper's Voice. And Laurie's going to be one of the speakers there. So we're really excited and we're going to chat with her and get to know her a little bit. So if you're coming, we're so excited to see you. If you're not coming, we wish you were. And we're going to be posting a lot of content for you to feel like you're there.
If you are coming, come say hi. Come see Saturday. We're doing a live podcast. Come check that out.
So, Laurie, do you want to introduce yourself real quick and talk about your book, your podcast?
Sure. All the things. Yeah, I am Laurie Hellmann. I just put H on my name. Sorry. I'm Laurie Hellmann. I have a son, Skylar, who is 20 now. He has the same birthday as Kaya, actually. Just turned 20, and he is nonverbal, as you would say, I guess, on the severe end of the spectrum. Yeah, it's been a long road. We're just now getting into a lot of the adult services or lack thereof where we live. We are in Indiana, and it's pretty bleak here. So we were saying before we started, or before we went live, that we're moving. We're going to move eventually. So Colorado might be the place. But I have my Facebook page where I try to blog and keep everybody up to date on what's going on with us. It's Welcome to My Life, Skylar's World. I have a podcast that I've been doing for 4 years called Living the Sky Life. There's a theme. Everything is after Skylar.
I love it.
And I published my first book, a memoir, just about our journey. It's called Welcome to My Life, yet again, branding. And it just talks about diagnosis to, I think he was 17 when I published it in 2020. So up to 17, and I'm working on a second and a third at the same time right now. So I'm trying to get that stuff done. But autism,
that is a big load of ambition, Laurie. Who 2s and 3s at the same time, girl?
they're two different things. So
Yeah. That's incredible. And plan to move and do the life at the same time.
Yeah, my daughter graduates from high school here the first weekend of June. So she's going to be headed off to college this fall. So that's going to make me sad. So yeah, so it'll be all Skylar all the time in our house once she goes to college.
Is she going away, like out of state, or?
No, she's staying in state. She's going to Purdue, which is about 2.5 hours away. So it's not bad.
That's not bad.
Unless you guys take off.
I know. So there goes our sometime babysitter that we have for Skylar. I shouldn't say babysitter, but she's willing to watch him if he's asleep. So we can go to dinner or something if he's already asleep. Yeah.
That variety of sitter is so important. Like I'll do the work, but you let us sneak.
Yeah, and I don't have to pay her, so it's kind of nice.
And my kids have, like, we call it passing the torch. So it was like my oldest, who's older than Alyssa, and then it was my third daughter, and now it's my youngest, who she's 18 now. So it's like, you know, they're like passing the torch down as they go.
Yeah. Yep. Everyone gets a turn.
Built-in caregivers.
Yes.
Everyone's talking about packing. Yeah, I have a pile of clothes on my bed. So that's
Nikki offered to pack for me. Maybe she'll pack for you too.
Oh, me too, please. Nikki, make the rounds.
Down. So we attended this retreat last year. Laurie didn't get to go last year, right?
No, I didn't go.
But it was so fun. It was almost nerve-wracking to get to know everyone because we're all so kind of isolated in our little autism or disability bubbles. So like, you know, it was a lot, but it was so nice. Like once everyone warmed up and we started talking to each other to like have things in common. I always say this, but like, it's so nice to talk to people. You don't have to explain everything.
Yeah.
You don't have to explain what this means or that means. So yeah, what are you guys excited for the retreat?
I already mentioned I can hardly wait to be in the same time zone as you guys so that we just know where we are and we know what time we have to be there and we just show up without like 54 text messages. T-minus 30 minutes? What's my time zone? Where do I live? What day is it? Style?
I'm excited for the live podcast.
Oh,
I can't wait to see how that goes. It's going to be fun no matter what.
It's going to be so fun.
Laurie, we're sort of known for on our lives, we often will play a game with our listeners and viewers of the live that night. And we often don't bring answers or rules in an organized way. So it's very entertaining. Not always like, hey, I'd like to go play exactly that. But it's fun. It sure is fun.
It's usually a hot mess.
That's fun too.
Yeah.
Who needs organization at this point? You know?
We look up like a game, like we try to find, and it's usually something that's like a baby shower game or a bridal shower game. But then it's usually me and Rachel find like the questions on like Etsy, but we don't pay to get the we like try to figure it out on our own.
One of the ones where like, Rachel, is that the answer? And she goes, oh, I don't know. I don't have the answers.
Sounds good.
So this time we have organized a game of the Friendly Feud, and we've pulled all the people in the Coops troop, well, 109 of them, and it has gone really well, and we have beautiful intentions, but we've not done our trail run until after this tonight, so we'll soon see.
Mm-hmm. And who knows what will happen when it's in front of a bunch of people, and who knows if there'll be technical difficulties or what's going to happen. So it's going to be.
I could probably tell you there will be technical difficulties. So,
well, we are. I will give us a high five for being organized for this because we're doing great. I'm going to give us a thumbs up. We got things ahead of time. Yeah, we got a timeline. We're killing it.
So on Saturday, they're doing some breakout sessions before we go on. We're going to go on Saturday night. And Laurie, you're part of Saturday day. Do you want to give a little taste of what you'll be talking about?
Hashtag if you know.
Yeah, and I'm still working on it, but it's all about being kind to yourself as caregivers. Like that's like the biggest thing I want to talk about. I figure it's a pretty good audience for that.
Yeah.
So
we all really need.
Yeah.
We beat ourselves up pretty good.
Yes.
Ryan wants to know if you're doing donuts, Jen.
In my car, or am I going to eat donuts there?
No. Go figure. She thought it was a snack option. He meant you're whipping.
Yeah. Oh no, but it could happen. No one's driven with me, have they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it's because he can just see the steering wheel.
Oh, because now I want a donut. I want a snack now.
We know. Yeah.
Yeah, I want a donut.
Well, Laurie, can you talk a little bit about, because this is just something I'm really interested in. I noticed on your page you're doing the screening for the spellers.
Yeah, we did it yesterday, actually, was our screening event, but you can still see it. There's a link that I put on my page, and I'll add it again. But the 30th is actually kind of like the nationwide big day that they were launching the movie. We just, obviously, I'm going to be in Minnesota, so we asked if we could do ours a little early. But oh my gosh, I cried. The whole theater was crying just at certain parts of it. It's just incredible to see these spellers, and all the questions you asked me, Kim, too. I feel like it answers a lot of those, because I think everybody has the same ones. Like,
do you want to just briefly explain? Because I'm sure a lot of people might not know exactly what it is.
Yeah, Skylar's been doing spelling to communicate for the last 3 years, and with as I told at the Q&A at the end, every child, adult, whoever is different. It takes people based on their motor planning, sometimes a lot longer. So for Skylar, for 3 years, it's taken us, we've moved from 3 boards to just 1 board that has all 26 letters on it. And it's taken us 3 years to get to that point where he is fluent on a board. We're still at semi-open questions. So what that means, you start with questions that can only have one answer. So you give them reading material that is age appropriate for themselves. So if we do lessons on space or something, we've done so many lessons, I can't even name them all, but I read him a passage just like we did in school. You read a paragraph, and then there are questions, reading comprehension questions with an answer about something that we read. So if we're reading about space, there might be a question about a specific planet, the color of the planet or whatever it was. And it can only be that answer. And so they point to the letters or use a pencil in a stencil and answer the question. And then you move to semi-open questions where it's like, again, with planets, it could be 2 different planets, either one. And then you just give him the 26 board, and he answers the one that he wants to answer. So he has a little more control of what he says. And then a lot of what covered in the movie were people who are fully fluent with typing or spelling. And you ask them a question about, like, they asked some of the spellers, or how do you feel when people dismiss spelling and say that you're not really doing the spelling, you're not really answering the questions, that someone's doing it for you? And their answers were hilarious. I mean, if you think your kids are not listening to you swear or whatever, one of the guys dropped an F-bomb in his answer, and he's just like,
that's hilarious.
They're effing idiots if they don't think that it's really funny, but we're not to the open communication yet. So I can't ask him, like, how was your day at school, and have him spell it out. And it's because his motor planning is so low. It takes so much for him to raise his arm, point his finger, search the letters with his eyes, and do all of that. So it could take him hours and hours if he really was answering me a question.
And you have found, I've heard you talk about this before, so you found out that he knew a lot of information that you had no idea that he knew, right?
Yeah, and that's what's so crazy and so awesome about it, is that for us, it's just our experience. AAC didn't work. None of the AAC worked. PECS didn't work. Sign language didn't work. And the way they kind of explain it too in the movie is it's all linked to OT. So when we ask our kids with apraxia or, unable to speak, people who are nonverbal, we ask them to sound things out or do different things, but they don't have the motor capabilities to doing it. Even using AAC or sign language, if you're motor delayed, it doesn't matter how much you want to point to the pictures of the cheeseburgers and do all the things, your body won't do it. So your mind and your body don't work together. So yeah, it's crazy to see them spell things that I had no idea. Like the election, when the election happened a few years ago, I asked him, I'm like, hey, Skylar, spell one of the candidates for me. And he spelled Biden perfectly, not even missing a beat. And I'm like, how did you know that? But we always have the news on and stuff, and he's listening and hearing us talk about it. And so he spelled both candidates, and he spelled Derby horses for me during the Derby before. And it's just, it's crazy.
So incredible. It's so incredible, because it's like, you don't realize what, especially I feel like kids that are on the more severe end and that are nonverbal, because it's very, like, even with Alyssa, like I was just saying this to my husband, I go, it's crazy the things she knows and the things that she doesn't understand. Like, she understands so much that we don't realize. And then there's other things that are like she got her birthdays today. We had just a small family get together last night, and like things that I'm trying to explain to her that are so simple, she's not understanding, or she's not fully understanding. So then she gets upset. But like other things that are way more complicated, she can understand. So it's like, you kind of think like, well, if they don't understand this, then they're not going to understand the next thing. And it's just not really the case. I feel like for our kids, they take in so much that you just don't realize.
Yeah. And it's hard because a lot of the questions we got at the end of the movie are the same things that we get asked all the time. And, you guys know as well as anybody that it takes like 10 years of documented evidence-based studies and all of these things for people to accept a therapy or a treatment of some kind. And that's the most frustrating part, is that, and they address this in the book. The movie is based on the book Underestimated. If you haven't read it, oh my God, it's incredible, by J.B. Handley, that ABA therapists or BCBAs and speech therapists could lose their licenses if they entertain that spelling to communicate is a thing and that it works.
Man.
And that's the frustrating part.
Mind-blowing.
Yeah. Each specialist or specialty thinks theirs is the only way that kids, and I'm not against ABA, Skylar's an ABA all day, every day. It's just, I don't think he's getting much out of that. He's getting some things, but that's just not how he learns. And now that I've seen him spell and I know how smart he is, I can only imagine that it's probably babyish, and it's probably extremely underestimating his abilities by having him point to pictures of juice boxes and things. He's probably like, people, seriously.
So what type of specialist does the spelling? Is it a certain type of therapist, or?
And they just have to be trained in spelling to communicate. Our therapist was an OT by training, which worked out great for us because she gave us OT things to do at home with him to strengthen his muscles and to try to get him to be a little bit more accurate on the boards over time. So
it's so incredible how it's like hopscotchy in the, nothing is linear. But when you can look back 3 years and say like 3 boards down to 1, and just imagine where you'll be, where that can bring you, and obviously bring Skylar. It's just incredible. I mean, it's incredible. But the daily grind of that, and like we're going to OT to build skills that we're not sure if are ever going to work, can be so hard. So it's cool to see someone that's gone further down the road that can look back and say, this is how it went,
That's what I'm hopeful for, being at the event. And I'm just so grateful that Kate asked me, just because I think the large percentage of the moms and the caregivers that'll be there have younger children. So being that Skylar's in his 20s, I've been through guardianship. That was a horrible hearing. I've been through SSI. I've been through the day program research and the group homes and all the stuff. And like you said, Rachel, we do forget where they were when they were 7 and 8, because at that moment I was so frustrated because he wasn't able to walk very well on his own or do different things. And he's 20 now, and none of that stuff even phases me anymore because he's fine. I'm just in a whole different place now with him. And
that's the part that translates so beautifully when we're all in a room together, is that my daughter doesn't have to be at all like Skylar for me to be touched by your message of making your way through it. And Celie doesn't have to be much like Skylar for you to be impacted by how we advocate and how we confront so hard. So I just cannot wait for 200 people to show up together. Like I can't
even fathom that many.
But it's like so incredible. It's so incredible to show up together and to make the leap, to pack the bag and to fight the anxiety of going, and like, who the heck is going to take care of your kid, and how are they going to get the right cereal, and who's going to know the right bowl, and all the things. But it happens. Like, it's just, I can hardly wait to be together. Oh God.
And with the spelling thing, like, so here in Massachusetts, nowhere does it. There, you can't find a person. So like, we would have to travel, or I think, Laurie, you had somebody come to you. Is that right?
Yeah, she lives in Tennessee, and we don't have anybody here either. She's training more people because of us. it's gotten out, and she has 6 or 7 clients here in the Louisville area now. But yeah, we had to do all of our sessions after she came here via Zoom. And then she had her first baby at the end of last year. And so she went on maternity leave. So it was just me and Skylar, and he's doing really well. Like that's one of the bigger hurdles too, is your child allowing you to be their communication partner, because not many kids like their parents to do it. And I had an incredible speller and her mom on my podcast a year or so ago. And I actually just reissued that or reposted that episode. They wrote a book together too. And I asked Emily, the daughter, all these questions about, like, because I just wanted to know everything about what Skylar's thinking and maybe feeling. And she spelled that, not just, I don't think it's spelling therapy and being a communication partner, but any kind of type of therapy you try to do with your child and it's you doing it, they want so badly to be perfect for you. And so if they mess up at all or get anything wrong, they immediately look to you like they disappointed you. And so they don't want you to be their therapist. They just want you to be their mom and all of those things. And I have a really hard time with that line between me and Skylar, because I've always been his person. I've always been his therapist. I've always been his chef, make all his food. I do all the things. So it's really hard. And I'm grateful that he accepts me as his communication partner. I don't dismiss a moment of that, but it's just, sometimes it's too many hats. And I just want to be his mom sometimes, but I mean, I'm sure you guys understand that our kid, it's just another remarkable thing about our kids, just that the fact that they just want to please us so much that they don't want to make any mistakes. And that's just the furthest thing from our minds. Like, I'm not ever judging if he does something wrong. I don't know. It's crazy how much they.
Yeah. And like Alyssa gets very offended if she's wrong, or if you tell her she's wrong, she gets like mad.
Aww.
Like, cause it's like she
gets that last part from her mom.
Like it. Yeah, she does not like it. She's you're wrong. You're wrong.
We have that kind of with that, because Nora uses the AAC device, or is learning an AAC device, and we definitely have that with the AAC device. Like, trying to implement it at home is so much harder than in school or in a therapy session. Like, we were in a tent one time, and I was trying to practice with her, and she literally took the AAC device out of the tent and said, "No, we're not doing this, lady. You're not my therapist. No, thank you. We're not doing that at home." Yeah.
Well,
it's interesting.
Like, so true. Our kids are like the hardest workers you'll ever meet. They're always working on something, even that if that is with us at home. And so to them, like, we are their safe place. And it is such a hard line to walk, because you want to help them and you want to, and of course we have like 50 therapists, like, work on this at home.
Mm-hmm. Only so many hours in the day.
Yeah, I'm like, I want to sit with my kid and watch Word Party for the 50 millionth time sometimes, because I just want to feel like we're both safe. And
do you think
I'm not a good therapist?
Do you think that that's one of the reasons, I mean, besides a multitude of things, why COVID was so hard for our kids? Because they don't want to do school in their room or their safe space at home. That's school for that. And then when you bring all of that work into their play place, they were like adamant. Behaviors, everything just seemed to increase because there was no defined line between home and do I work. I don't know. It did not work for us. So he did nothing.
I agree. Well, and there's even some of the stuff they sent us, like OT and stuff. And they really tried. They're like, try doing this so you can work together on like making cookies. I'm like, my kid's not going to do this. Like, no desire. Yeah. It was actually kind of good for me, because there's a lot I just like, nope, it's not going to work. And it's not worth my mental health to like be trying to force things on my kid, because it would be worse. I've tried working with him on things, and I know what's going to backfire sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Sarah, yeah, Word Party in this house all the time. Never did.
Yeah, I feel like with us, COVID was like 50-50. Like, I feel like it helped present a lot more opportunities for her for learning. Like, we were able to break a few prompts, which like were years and years in trying to do that. But on the other hand, like, being out of her routine, her sleep was like even more often normal. And then a lot of behaviors that we hadn't seen in years and years came back. So it was like a 50-50. Like, that side of it was like not good, But the side where it's like we were just around her so much more, and there was so many more opportunities for like, I mean, we didn't try schooling. She doesn't do like academic stuff, but like opportunities for like getting her to like not be as prompted was really good for her.
Yeah.
I think we wouldn't have had those opportunities because it's like we're just so busy and we're always like on the go. And I was always driving the other kids' places, and you know, everybody was like in and out of the house. So like that slowdown was like, I think, really good for her on that aspect. But like being out of school and off a routine, that part was not fun at all.
Yeah, I think too, like speaking of the pandemic and just retreat, like that's what brought me to like Kate's group, Coop's troop, and that's how I met all these ladies. I was already part of it, but like I hadn't like delved in, but then I suddenly had the time
Exactly
to get to know everyone. So how did that change for you guys? Laurie, I know you're part of Coop's troop and you're active in the community. How did like meeting other moms? I don't know if you're like Kimmy, who had like a long time because your son is a little bit older and this wasn't as popular, obviously, when your kids were younger. How much of a difference does it make getting to know other moms with kids with disabilities?
Well, I'm excited to meet people in person because I only have met Jess Ronnie. And then have I met anyone else? Gosh, I don't think I have. I mean, I always still feel like I'm catching up to you guys because we went so many years where there was none of this. And even when Facebook did exist, I had my own little, just personal page for my family and like just things. I didn't focus on autism. I think I fought it for a long time because I had a real challenge with my identity, feeling like my identity, I didn't want it to just be Skylar's autism mom. Like I have a daughter too. I have a life. I have a job. I have other things. And I just didn't want to talk about it all the time. But then once I started blogging and stuff, I just met more and more people. And I realized like people want to know what's the future, what's going to, what they have to look forward to or whatever. So yeah, I mean, I just am pumped to meet. I cannot imagine 250 plus caregivers in one room, the amount of stories and just laughter. Probably people probably haven't laughed in a long time, so looking forward to that part.
We just recently discussed on an episode, and I talked about that, how like when we got the diagnosis and they recommend you go to parent groups and stuff, I was like, nope, this isn't going to be our lives. Like this is autism, just gonna be part of it. And then when I finally did meet these ladies stuff, I like realized like, oh my gosh, I've been like so isolated because even though I am living those other parts of my life, it's with people who don't understand.
Yeah.
So there is an element of like, oh, it is so nice to be with you all. Hi, Adrian.
Hi, Adrian.
Hey, Adrian. Happy Monday.
Food in her mouth.
Pasta. Sorry.
Oh,
Pasta.
Yum.
Yum.
It's low carb pasta.
Well, you lost me there. I was thinking it was pimento cheese with that big whip action.
No, I'm just
Bridget, I love all your information. I read your stuff all the time. I think it's great.
Oh, thank you. It's quiet in here for a minute. My husband has taken Amos to the playground in the pitch black. And
I thought, how did you get out of that?
well, I said, I have to do it 9:00. And y'all better hurry. And he was like, well, we'll wait. I was like, no. Anyway.
So good.
So Adrian will also be at the event this weekend. She is going to be speaking on Sunday at the brunch.
That's right. Super excited. Am I going to freeze in Minnesota? I'm not used to this cold business.
Girl, you need to bring a coat.
Looks like it's going to be cold.
I almost texted you about that. There was a cream dress at Downtown Diva that's like a sweater dress for the winter. That's the one you need, girl. It is chilly here.
Oh, I thought cold, like, did I need to wear pants? I didn't know it was that cold.
It's 50, I think. I looked at the forecast before
rainy.
I packed. Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, okay. I'll be ready.
We'll have words with Kate about this because Minnesota's awesome in June or July. It's really pretty in August and September. I don't know about this April.
Well, in North Carolina in July is your nemesis. You do not want to be here in July.
Girl, I was in North Carolina in May last year, and I about sweated through. I had to go to your silly, wonderful, and tiny movie theater just to cool down.
What about August, Adrian? I'm going to South Carolina in August.
Hot.
It's humid, isn't it?
Yeah.
Probably.
Sticky.
I was hoping she says, "Oh, it's perfect, beautiful,
Perfect.
Gorgeous."
She could lie to you.
Sorry. I had to go find the melatonin, and there's no internet up there.
Oh,
I'm good.
Lord. We know
I'm
about
good.
finding the nighttime pills.
So is everybody going to be there this weekend?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, what a treat. Well, I was just listening to y'all talk about, friends and not having friends. And, I live in a really small town of about 5,000 people. So I don't have any friends in my everyday life that have a child like Amos. I have one friend in the other end of North Carolina who has a daughter with a genesis of corpus callosum. So it's different, but whenever I always enjoy my time with her, not that I get to see her a couple times a year. So I agree. I think it's so important to just have somebody that you're just not having to explain yourself to for a minute,
I feel like, Kate and I live in the same town, or just one from each other, and our kids go to music class and Miracle League and all this stuff. And she talks so much about just being an open air shit show. It's just okay to go to music class and be rolling around with your kid, or I'm blocking the door so Cooper can't run, and she's trying to get the blanket off Celie so she participates. And just being in the physical space with each other is amazing. But prior to having that, and even alongside having physical or people in our local community, it's just so incredible to have somebody that their kid doesn't sleep and they're going to be up at 4. And you can reach out and ask this question about seizure medicine or a fever, or what do you think about this mental health condition, or whatever, any old thing at any hour. And it's such a resource. And I hope that people come and take the chance to really connect and be authentic and vulnerable through the whole thing. Because Kate's group has changed my life 6 times over. And by that, I mean saved it.
I think it will. It's hard for people like us to get to stuff like this. If you're going to get there, it takes so much legwork to make it happen that it's that's such a taste of freedom, I think, that, and really pushes that thought. Anyway.
Oh, yeah. And then it pushes you so far, a lot of people so far out of their comfort zone, too, which we need sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, because I guess I forget with what I do or what Rachel does, we're kind of, or a lot of us do, we're putting ourselves out there. So we're probably not quite as lonely as, it could. So that makes sense. Because, boy, it would be lonely.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Well, one thing people were kind of chattering about is which I think we all have this, sometimes when I get in social situations, I turn into this butterfly where I just hover around, bouncing too much because I'm anxious about talking to people. But some of the moms were talking about, giving it a chance and meeting new people and coming by themselves. And I will say last year, one of the things, everyone was so welcoming. It felt like a warm hug the whole time. I think we were all together because there's no judgment. It's pretty easy breezy. Everyone's there's took off their caregiver cape for a minute, and it felt really comfortable. So anyone who's coming by themselves, it's something. It's an experience for sure.
I think last year in the Sheridan lobby, I may have accosted this gal who was not a special needs mom there for the retreat because she was standing alone. And I thought no, you will not be alone in this. Come here. I'm Rachel Flanagan. Do you need anything? Just come here. So this time it's a full out takeover of that hotel, and I can hardly, oh God, I can't wait. Watch out, Stillwater.
Random ladies might be coming up to you.
Yes.
I love it.
Oh, yeah. All these moms talking about how they've never traveled away, or this is their first time away from their kids in a long time. It's hard. And that's the thing. I remember last year, Jen, it was so hard for her to leave Kaya. We really didn't think she was getting on the plane and make it there. When she actually got on the plane, we're phew. Even at the airport, we're oh, you guys, she's going to turn around. We're in trouble.
She even had a connecting flight that we thought she wouldn't make.
Have started drinking.
Yeah.
The drinks helped. But when she got there, and Kaya did great at home, and it was like the best thing for both of them. And I get that that's not always the situation. I got home and my son was not happy I had left, but it fulfilled me and it refilled my energy tank to help me going.
It's always so hard thinking about leaving them, and a lot of kids, it's hard for them, the anticipation of you leaving, if they can like understand, that's always the roughest part.
Laurie, with Skylar, does your husband just kind of take over? Or do you guys
we both travel a lot for work. So it's kind of like passing ships. Like, I was in Chicago last week and I got home Wednesday night and he flew out Thursday morning for his meeting that he had for 2 days. So, I think Skylar's used to it. Honestly, that I feel like that's one of the things that saves me mentally because I get a break. And I used to feel so guilty when I would leave for work and I would call and check in. Not that he can't handle, he knows what meds he takes. He's fine. But I felt guilty that I wasn't there. But then once he started traveling again after COVID and all that for work, it's almost like it's your turn. And so we enjoy our time away. And then when we get back, it's the next person's turn. So yeah, he's always encouraging me to go. When Kate asked me to speak, he's like, that's awesome. You're going to get to meet all these people that you comment back and forth, but you've never actually met in person. I'm just so excited for that part.
Well, my husband actually was just in Chicago last week for a work trip also. And when he got that, he felt so bad. He's like, oh no, I have this work trip the week before you're leaving. And I was like, that actually makes me feel so much less guilty about leaving because it's like a trade off. I'll do this week. You do this.
Yeah.
We did an episode. I was just looking back at some stuff I'm doing for the upcoming weekend. And on the Life Hack series, which was series 11, we did an episode called How to Take a Momcation. And we recorded that right after we all got back from last year. And we sort of discussed how our kids survived and maybe it was great for them. And maybe our husband learned something pivotal. And perhaps just showing that each and every person survived through it really, I didn't know if I could make it. And I'm in Minnesota, for God's sakes. We didn't know if Jen Dunn would get on the second plane. Jamie couldn't go for just a hot minute in the week before. It was just such a mess and such a sacrifice, but so worth it. I feel like I'm still living off of the connection and the hugs and the, tears because I'm totally emotionally unstable, but also the laughter.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was so
awesome.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll link that episode because I know from a couple of threads that I'm on in Kate's group that there is some anxiety building about this upcoming trip for the people. If you don't travel, let it be your time.
Rachel, do you know, are a lot of the people returning or are these a lot of new people? Because it wasn't as big last year, was it?
I feel like it was 190 or something last year. And this year's 244. Amanda just said or commented. The Wisconsin retreat was 100 maybe. That was in northern Wisconsin and at this camp. So this certainly is the biggest. You guys know too, I feel like the people I've seen are maybe 70% of the folks that have been. And there's a couple of people that haven't made this trip that feel like they're making the pilgrimage this year. Coming to Minnesota in the crummiest month.
How many are expected?
On Sunday? 244, I think.
244 is the total people coming.
Okay.
I don't know which days or which numbers.
I think there's an extra 100 or extra group of people on Sunday that aren't going to be there the whole weekend or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I think the Saturday event was 175.
Oh, that's 185 because we did the swag bags filled with Jen Dunn products and all these amazing things.
Jen Dunn products.
And then, and I think then it was 250 for the Sunday.
Yeah.
244.
Gotcha.
So a little bit smaller, 75 less people.
Yeah.
For Saturday than Sunday, it seems like.
Saturday's going to be a big day. From the stuff that we've seen, it starts really early and goes all night. And I can't wait to be up and around and mixing with all of it,
Yeah.
I'm excited about small groups. I just love when a girl mom can meet a girl mom and a seizure mom can meet a seizure mom and a question mom can meet a medicine mom and whatever. I love that.
32 states, Amanda said. Just keep it coming.
That's
honorable mention for additional countries too. I'm sure there's 3 of those.
Yes.
So Adrian, you're speaking Sunday. Do you want to give us a little taste of what you'll be talking about, or?
Yes, I need to be working on that this week.
You could probably wing it and be great.
Yeah.
Let's not.
It's fine.
Yeah.
You have 5 days. No, it's fine.
I could like write a book by then. I mean, that's a long way out.
Yeah.
I think what I'm going to be talking about is, well, I don't know. I need to really think about it. That's normally what I do is like think, okay, well, what feels right for this group? I think there's 2 different avenues that sometimes I take. One is the joy and the unexpected. But I almost feel like the better thing for this group is talking about being vulnerable, sharing your story, and the joy that comes from doing that.
Yeah.
So that's, y'all think so too. Because to me, I didn't know that when I started doing this blog, 7 years ago. I just was trying to save myself. I don't know if y'all were like that, but it was like I'm paralyzed with this fear of I've got this baby and this is not the baby I ordered, right? But I love this baby. And the only grief I ever knew was my big brother who died of cancer. And so I knew about grieving cancer and death, but I didn't know about grieving a person that wasn't going to die, right? And was going to be here in my life. And so I just really shared it because honestly, I just could imagine all these people like around me talking about us. And I just didn't want that. I wanted to at least have a little control over the conversation. But about 2 or 3 years in, I realized, damn it, the joy is back. Like I have joy again that I thought after my brother died. I mean, I was married. I had 4 children. I was, damn it, I was president of the PTA. I was happy, but I didn't have joy. And I tell people when they're like, well, it's fine for you, but I'm private. I will say to them, I'm just going to tell you, I've never had any other experience that got me to where I am, and maybe the exercise gets people there. I don't know. That's not an avenue.
It's not my thing either. Haven't tried.
Already made me cry, Adrian.
I think that's kind of my push of why should I tell my story? Why do I have a story to tell? Is to me that the joy that comes from that.
But Amos is so damn cute, though.
Oh.
We deserve to know him.
Yes.
He's real funny, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
We were just saying, Adrian, before you got on that, sorry, Kimmy, that we pulled the people for a game that we're going to play on Saturday night called Friendly Feud. So we did the survey and then we pulled the people about some Q&As, and it's been so interesting to read what people want to know from us as the Table for Five. A lot of it has to do with how to share and how we started a podcast and how we came together and why we stick together and how we can love each other like sisters and annoy each other and fight for the common good and keep growing. Like it's been cool to see that I feel like people have this yearning to share, but don't necessarily know how. Right. But I believe so strongly that it's the thing that'll break the stigma for our life. Like if I don't talk about what's happening, then I can't expect people to know what's happening.
190,000%. I mean, I do have one friend here who has a child on the spectrum. He blends in obviously better than Amos does. And I think that's harder in a way, right? Because she can not share the diagnosis and she can kind of just make it through the edges. But at the same point, she has those same struggles and she's choosing not, for a variety of reasons, not to kind of share that path with everyone. And I mean, that's her choice.
But then she doesn't have support in that. And so she's alone on the path. And how hard, right?
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. Carrie Cariello and I have really talked a lot about that of like, if you don't embrace the diagnosis, then people are just going to see you as weird and bad acting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of sharing too just normalizes a lot of the things we go through. And I think that's one of the most important things, like from my view of it, starting when my child was older, because I feel like the more we talk about it, the less the stigma sticks around. So many people feel guilt and shame for like you were talking about, for grieving a child that you have, because like people tell you you're not supposed to do that. And they make you feel bad about that. But the more that people talk about it and the more people hear about it, then it becomes just like a normal thing to talk about. I did a post today. Today's my daughter's 27th birthday. She is nonverbal on the severe end, but she's a great kid. She's very sweet. She's very happy for the most part until she's not. But I wrote this post just kind of about 27 years ago. I had no idea what was going to happen and kind of went through all these phases of like thinking that like I thought she was going to be recovered by 5. I thought she would catch up. She would talk. She would be in regular kindergarten. I mean, I was clearly delusional, but that's just like where my mind was. I didn't really understand the whole forever thing at that point. And, and then, all the milestones that, I feel like birthdays are sometimes hard and holidays are hard. I feel like it just like makes me vulnerable, to like maybe feeling a little bit of that sadness more so than on the everyday. And then I wrote, as she got older, the milestones, they don't matter. Like making her happy, that's what matters to me. Like giving her experiences. And then a mom comments and writes, I thought I was alone and feeling this way. I thought I was the only one who, got upset when my daughter's birthday rolled around. And, it's like these people that are just feeling guilty and bad about feelings, their normal feelings. Like we're human. Like, yes, we're going to be sad about some aspects of this life. And I think that's okay. And obviously the flip side would be like, inspiring people and letting them see that there is joy and, there are things to celebrate. But I think both things to me are equally important because when I first went on the internet, I mean, it was a lot like Laurie, where it was kind of like we were already settled into autism. I started seeking out things when my daughter switched into adult services. And when I realized the lack of resources and the lack of things they were for her, that's what like made me kind of start like searching for things. So obviously ours was kind of like a different place, but and so many people tell me like, your daughter gives me so much hope. She's so inspirational. I never thought my daughter would be a
you talking about me?
lots of people. I mean, so many people. Kate says that Alyssa changed her life. You know what I'm saying? Like at first I thought she was just being nice. I'm not kidding. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, your daughter's great. Oh, thanks. And she's like, no, she literally changed my life. She gave me a glimpse into the future and I saw that it was going to be okay, and you're just doing this for people without even, I'm not realizing I'm doing that when I'm writing a post, right? I'm just writing a post to write a post because I'm feeling a certain way or whatever. But it's like the impact that you have is so wide and deep, and we just have no idea what person that's, isolated and they're making that connection with us and we don't even know it. It's really just unbelievable if you really like take a step back and think about that.
I'm just grateful too for the people who have taught me. I mean, having an adult, like I never stop learning. Every podcast guest I have on, I learn something from them. And I mean, even just posting about Skylar having Crohn's, the people have come out of the woodwork like, oh my gosh, tell me about this because my child has been doing those exact same things and I never even thought about GI. And like, what did you do? And I've given out our GI so many times, the contact. I mean, I probably have brought him like 30 patients, but I mean, that's where I love this community so much because I don't, sometimes nurses will write me and say, why don't you try this? And I'm like, holy crap, no one's ever said that. That worked.
I've been on Adrian's lives where she's troubleshooting meds with 300 people. Yeah. Like you just don't know what answers are going to come to you or what you can be for someone. It's awesome.
So helpful. Holy cow. It's so helpful.
Like you said, you don't know anybody that has a child with autism in your group. And I've never met anybody who has a child like mine ever, except on the internet. On the internet, there are so many people that are like, my daughter's just like yours. I mean, never have I met anybody, not in any of her programs, like not in any of the things we do. Like she seems so unique, which is also very isolating in the, in the beginning, because it's like
you had a girl before when only Temple was diagnosed. I mean, they were like the first two.
But it's like on the internet, like you're finding there's just so many people that are coming out and they're like, oh, that's how my daughter, it's just, it's just find other people that you can really relate to that are like, in similar situations. And it's also therapeutic. I find like if I'm upset or emotional about something and like I do a post or do a live, like it also, my followers are helping me as much as I'm helping them. So it's, it's like full circle.
Yeah.
Don't you think too, when you tell about it, it's like it doesn't own you anymore? Sometimes I'll write really hard.
Yeah.
Then I'll get these text messages from like friends of mine, here, and they're like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, oh, it's fine now. I'm over it.
Yes.
Exactly. Yes.
I healed
That's
13 seconds after I hit post. Thank you.
Yeah, all good. Yeah, no problem. I'm used
Well, it
People-
can be hard for people to, I mean, Adrian, sometimes do you feel like people sometimes have reached out to me after a post like that that's super emotional? Because I'm not really that emotional of a poster. Like it has to be something I'm pretty just overwhelmed with if I post about it. I usually
Right.
try to find the positive in things, but people reach out to me and they're like, are you okay? Like really? Like I'm worried. I'm really worried. I'm like, I'm not suicidal. I'm good. And I'm laughing and they're like, your post kind of scared me a little bit. And I'm like, I'm fine. I just needed to get it out. Don't take my words like literally.
And
like
also, like if I could write about it, it's because I felt it this week,
Yeah.
Tuesday, last week, Friday, the week
Yeah.
before this, whatever. Like this is our life.
Mm-hmm.
And also
Right.
send coffee or a cake. I'm a big fan of the send a coffee, send a hug.
You really are a big. Rachel taught me that there's Instacart in my town. I had no idea it was even a possibility, and nobody else either. I mean, I've told like 30 people. They're like, "What? We have Instacart?"
I could be a spokesperson for the delivery coffee services. If I can get your address, I'll download an app to get that thing to you. The only one that's really stumped me is your homesteader Aunt Dale. I can only get a couple things out there. A little too far.
She lives in the. Hi.
Hi, Amos.
You watch TV? Yes, you can.
Adrian, I don't know if you've seen Amanda's comment, but she said, I believe your Sunday title in the program is based on joy. So she said both. Cover what we have and cover what we put in print.
Okay.
She did. She covered both. She did it.
The joy in posting. The joy in posting. There you go.
What's this topic called again? Tell me the topic. Let me write it down. Hold on. What is it?
I can't read it. I have none.
I can't see your comments.
She said it's based on joy.
You have to hit comments on the left or on the right hand side.
Oh, party
I don't
call.
even see a comment area. Oh, comments. Look at there. Oh, damn. Well, then I can't see people. Oh, that's a lot of comments.
So it's just if it's just based on joy, that's pretty broad. You can go anywhere with that.
Yeah.
Here we go. I put it up for you.
Okay. Perfect. Based on joy. Okay, good. All right. I got that. Okay, good.
It's going to be great, you guys, this weekend.
Hey, Amanda, while you're out there, what are we talking about on Saturday? Because that could just guide us in a little, rein us in. You got anything for that? Laurie's still writing her speech too, so maybe if you have any notes about hers too.
No, I know what mine. I sent her a bio of like what I want to say. But yeah.
Look at you go.
Yeah.
So what is the plan Friday night?
It's at Kate's VIP for the lottery winners, and we'll be there.
Last year, her VIP, there's 2 people at the table that sat at the cookie table. The rest of us
was me and Jamie. We held down the macaroon.
And then the rest of us perused around. This year, there's going to be 80 people or so there, I've heard. Have you guys heard that?
Yeah, there's 80 people.
So it'll just be at Kate's house, like a little meet and greet and get to know the people. And it'll be a nice preview because Saturday seems like it's going to be so great and so full, and Sunday seems the same.
Yeah.
But if you're not doing the VIP, there's tons of people going to the Mall of America. There's people camping out at the hotel and just drinking moonshine cherries like yours truly. You know, there's lots of things.
We're all going to be there Friday night, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yep.
And what time does it start on Saturday?
8 a.m. I think.
7:45.
Yeah.
But Adrian, that's like check-in for the guests / breakfast. So probably
I think it's 9 o'clock. Yeah.
I think it's 9. I think the continental breakfast is between 8 and 9. And then I think.
Yeah, girl. Come for a bagel. That's what I'm having.
I think she's sharing the agenda soon.
I don't want to miss it. You know, but like then you want to like lay around too. But
that's what happened to me at your in-laws. I was like in this castle in North Carolina, and I'm like, I cannot get to breakfast. Not right now.
I know it's a real struggle. That's why I'm staying at Kate's house, because I was like, if I stay in a hotel, you might not see me for the weekend.
Knocking on the door.
At least you can put me in the truck and take me where I need to be.
Right. I mean, yeah, I'd just be like, I'm just going to lay here and watch Netflix for 10 hours.
You're like, it's noon. Oh.
Hey, to your moms out there that are guests, if you want to do that, if you just need a break, come say hi real quick and then go back to the bed. We all understand.
We do.
Come back for the live podcast.
Look at Tabitha's face. She just mouthed like, "Yes, damn it, do that for us too."
But Tabitha, you have to work. So
you can't do that, girl. You're muted, but we're trying. You're
I definitely had to hit out last year in my hotel. Oh, you gonna say hi? Oh,
hi,
open.
Nora.
Open. So we're running in circles over here. If you want to see what it looks like, here we are.
This is why Tabitha needs a break.
Steps and steps and steps.
All right, everyone. Should we? It's been an hour. Do you guys want to keep going or?
Yeah, I just want to say, if this is not the trip that you've booked, if you're coming, we're just so stoked to see you. We'll see you in a minute. I'll be the blubbering one in the lobby with the hugs and the arms open. But if this is not your trip, I encourage you so much to book a hotel alone, to go away for a minute, to call a friend and stay up too late laughing, to like reach out and to share. It's the common link between all of us. And I think it saved each one of us in a multitude of ways. It's just awesome. So tell the people what you're going through and get some support.
And if there's any husbands watching, Mother's Day is coming up. Just book your wife a hotel room for the weekend and handle the children while she decompresses in a hotel room. She would love it. Every mom would love it. That's a great
early
Mother's Day gift.
Late check out.
Handle things. Don't just leave it until she gets back.
Yes, do the things. Do the thing while she's gone.
Or just take the kids and get out. That works too.
Well,
seriously.
That works.
She could stay at home.
You don't have to come home to a house that was ransacked.
That's great. That is true.
I just want to say too, I'm selling books there. I'll have some books. I don't have a ton. I just only had a small amount shipped because I didn't know who would want them. I'll be selling books. And if you have a book already, bring it and I'll sign it. And you want to get some for your friends for Mother's Day, come buy books. I think Mary Barbara's selling hers. And of course, Kate will have hers. So there'll be
also, just to do a little modeling, here's a little Rebels shirt. She will be there as well. She's one of my favorite people. This is one of my favorite hoodies, second only to her Advocate hoodie.
We love that one.
It just looks like a sausage skin on these girls. I shrunk it too much or grew with a real good flow. Anyway.
It's going to be
I'm so excited.
So fun, people. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
And if you missed out for this year, they're trying to make this an annual thing. So check it out. And Kate does other retreats. And someone here also did a cruise retreat recently. So
yeah, girl.
Maybe give
those lives were great.
That's a pretty good trip.
Yeah.
Adrian, you're doing a retreat too, right?
October, right? October.
Yes. We have one scheduled in October, and then we're going to have another, winter warm place. I think it might end up being a cruise again because it's so easy. So easy.
Sounds awesome.
Plus, don't you think it's important to disconnect the moms by putting them in the center of the ocean? I think Carrie was the only one that called home on that trip.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. That's not a bad thought though. Yeah, that's true.
A good feature.
Can you not call from a cruise?
Not the same as you can call because shit's hitting the fan. I'm just saying it's not easy.
No reception in the ocean, Kimmy.
Oh, that's scary.
Scary awesome. Scary awesome.
So
scary and good.
You port.
Yeah.
I like to think about meals. Meals are like a real problem.
Yeah.
So anything that just doesn't require any thinking, like I'll eat whatever you put in front of me. I don't care. I just don't want to have to think about it or cook it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, exactly.
Well, come find us. Whoever's coming, come find us. Say hey. We're going to be there. Come to the live podcast recording Saturday night. We'd love it.
7 o'clock.
We're going to have so much fun.
Followed by cocktails.
Yeah, we're after the cocktails, so it's going to be fun.
Well, when are people arriving? So my flight gets in at like 1 on Friday.
I'm getting there Thursday night.
Thursday.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. I'm checking in Thursday too.
Well, maybe I need to come stay at the hotel. I don't want to miss the fun. This is a lot of pressure.
You can stay with me and Chris. She'll be Chris and Kimmy. We've got a whole bunch of people coming to your event in October. So I'll give you an inside scoop on all those ladies, and you can stay with us.
Ooh, perfect. Okay. Well, I can't wait to see all y'all.
Yeah.
I know.
I can't believe it's this week.
I know.
So thank you, everyone. Make sure if you don't follow Adrian, which most of you probably do because we all love Adrian, give her a follow. Check out Laurie's page. If you're coming, buy a book there. I love your book, Laurie. You know that.
Thank you.
Somebody asked if we would give autographs. Of course we would give autographs.
We all bring a Sharpie.
I don't know why I laughed so hard at that, but yes.
We autograph underpants. That's what we autograph.
Yes.
It's going to get real wild.
I think that's so lovely.
All right, everyone, have a great night, and we're so excited.
Thank you, everyone. We can't wait to see you.
Okay, bye.
Thanks for coming on, ladies.
Thank you for joining us at the table for this episode. Check out the description to find where you can sign up for our newsletter, how to become a supporter, and find links to us individually. Join us next Monday for more, and while you wait, check out our content on Facebook and Instagram. If you are enjoying the podcast, please make sure to subscribe and rate and review us wherever you listen. To contact us, you can email us at tablefor5podcast@gmail.com. We can't wait to sit with you again.